Balding is a topic that didn't really touch me until recently, when I watched a video of a famous YouTuber called Maverick, who told us about his receding hairline. And then I started to see that up here, my hairline is not that good anymore, I think. Or it's just the fact that I am now focused on these things, and therefore I am realizing these things, and therefore I am kind of overestimating the effect of balding, or my maybe balding. So here are two things to maybe prevent balding. Balding is caused by the androgen receptors in your hair, which is kind of dependent on your genetics. So it could be that you have androgen receptors that are a little bit more sensitive to DHT, which is a form of testosterone. So testosterone comes in different forms in our body, and DHT is one of these. And now, if you have receptors in your hair cells that are a little bit more receptive to DHT over time as you age, these tend to cause male pattern baldness. There is also another baldness which kind of makes you bald on certain spots, but the typical male pattern baldness, which also can appear on females, which is kind of confusing because it's male pattern baldness, is caused by the oversensitive receptors, or by, it's both. It could also be just high amounts of DHT. Therefore, the current medications that are available are basically DHT inhibitors. So basically they tend to try, or they prevent a certain amount of testosterone being converted into DHT, therefore increasing the total amount basically after. So if you have the result of this is how much DHT there is in my bloodstream or reaching the hair cells, and this is the sensitivity, and if you multiply these two you get a result, and this is basically then causing or not causing. It's a factor that is saying how likely it is that you will experience male pattern baldness. So here is the idea now. If you somehow can either reduce the DHT or the sensitivity of the androgen receptors in the hair cells, you can prolong the existence of these hair cells. Therefore, these are the two methods currently available. So when it comes to actually applying these things, there are a few different things. So there is minoxidil and there is also finasteride, which both act, I think, on the DHT conversion. So they inhibit the DHT conversion. There is also a different method. So in a recent podcast episode by HUBERMAN lab, he actually interviewed Dr. Gillette, who is kind of an expert in hormones and how hormones affect the different parts of our body. And since testosterone is a hormone, and since HUBERMAN asked the question, what is the most effective treatment currently to prevent or to delay male pattern baldness, he said that it is actually injections in the forehead, so in the parts of your head that basically into the proximity, into close proximity of these hair cells, which then reduces the sensitivity. So this could be one solution. Then the other solution is taking minoxidil and finasteride, basically also applying them locally. And I don't know if there's also a medication which you actually take and which reduces the DHT conversion in all of the body. But the third and final option is basically also a medical option, but it doesn't do anything to the hormones itself because it is just a hair transplant. And this is probably one of the most long-lasting treatments available. If you actually take a look at Elon Musk, I recently read something on this because I also read up on baldness, on male pattern baldness. And if you take a look at early PayPal pictures of Elon Musk, he is already balding. So there are these corners on the side of his head that are already pretty visible. And he probably for the most part, got a hair transplant. So basically what a hair transplant does is they take out hair of a single stripe basically around the back of your neck, and they take these hair cells. I think they take larger chunks, since hairs are so thin already, you cannot move single hairs to the front, and they take them and just implant them in the front of your head. It sounds rather, I am searching for the right word, but I cannot find it, therefore I say hands-on, but this is actually what they do. There are also videos these days available where people show their hair transplant journey, and Elon Musk seems to be a prime example of how a hair transplant can kind of transform the look of a person and make them appear younger again. Now also a note on the DHT conversion prevention medications. The problem is that DHT is actually there, it has a function in your body, and testosterone also has a function. Therefore, if you just increase the DHT that is flowing in your body, that is available in your body, you may cause side effects, and these side effects may include a loss of libido or a loss in drive, since testosterone and also the subcategory of testosterone known as DHT is kind of a male hormone that controls and is responsible for a lot of different functions in our body. Therefore, just reducing the amount of DHT is originally maybe not the best idea. And a fun fact at the end, did you know that women actually have more testosterone in their blood than estrogen?